What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to LightSaber Radio, the most outrageous Star Wars show on the web. And today, we got some shit to talk about because there is some things that is happening. But before we get too far into the show, we're going to just jump right in and we're going to get, because I want to read through some of the stuff that came through on the comments of the video last week because we couldn't do it live. We had to do a recorded episode, so everybody commented their ideas, and I want to read through that before we get too far into the
good idea.
The best. Before we
let's
get
drop
too
the
far
intro. Let's drop the intro.
Drop the
That'll
intro.
be the Hoth breaker.
Yeah, let's drop the intro, then we'll get into the other stuff.
Good idea.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Last we will reveal ourselves.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now tuned into LightSaber Radio. If you only knew the power of darkness.
Here it comes.
Let's go. You are now tuned into LightSaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
Okay, so yeah, we got a fun-filled episode for you, and we're gonna be talking about a lot of different stuff because
Lots
there's
of
some
stuff.
things that have came out that is just mind-boggling why Disney does some of the shit that they do, and then some of the hot takes that just been hot takes throughout time. So we're gonna get to all that, but first we're gonna jump into the Hoth breaker. We're going to get the Hoth breaker over, and then we're going to read the YouTube comments from last week where everybody put in what their favorite starships was and stuff like that. So let's go ahead on and drop the Hoth breaker and just so we can get out of the way. Let's do it. Let's get our outrageous juice.
All right. What are some of those comments we got?
Okay, no, first let's do the Hoth breaker. You got a Hoth breaker?
Oh, no. I thought we were going to do the comments instead. Okay. So for the Hoth breaker, little bit different. It's not necessarily a question. It's a fan theory that I saw on Instagram this week, and it kind of blew me away. So I want to share with you, see what you thought of it. It's kind of this what-if scenario where what if Luke saved Darth Vader from the Death Star at the very end? Okay? And so he goes through and he's like, all right, this is something I would want to see in a what-if series. So at the end, Luke manages to save Darth Vader from the Death Star. Darth Vader doesn't die. But obviously he's weak. He's fucked up. So Luke and Darth Vader kind of disappear. Luke takes him to like an abandoned planet where he's just sitting in a bacta tank, but he's forced to meditate for like years. And Ahsoka will come and visit. All these great Jedi that Luke is training, when they get to a certain stage, they'll come and visit Darth Vader because Darth Vader now, he's stuck in this bacta tank, but he's having time to reflect and meditate on the Force, where he's getting very, very smart, like Yoda-wise in the Force, because he still has that potential. Obviously, that potential got hacked, but because he got burned in the lava, but now he's having an opportunity to just sit and meditate. And so he gets super smart in the Force, but because he went to the dark side, he promises that he will never use the Force for violence again. He just wants to learn the secrets. Then Thrawn starts doing his shit and taking over. And instead of you completely get rid of Snoke, but Thrawn becomes this next big bad guy, and Thrawn captures like Luke's kids or Leia. Thrawn just does some really fucked up shit, and so Darth Vader is forced to come out of this retirement.
Comes out of retirement.
And help Luke fight.
What do you think would happen?
Yeah, but it was like this what-if series, and it was like, dude, I was thinking about that, and that would honestly be so sick. I would love to see a movie like that, or like a TV show like that.
So what I think would happen, I don't know, it's kind of hard because if he has sworn off violence, and he comes out of retirement, but he's still like, I won't use violence. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, obviously he's going to use violence now, I think. I think it was more like he swore it off, but now that the situation presents
he has to go protect his family.
Yeah.
What do I think would actually happen? Ooh, that's a kind of a hard one. Shit.
Dude,
I think Darth Vader and
It
Luke
would
is gonna fuck
be
up
the
everybody.
coolest
And especially if he has like, if you got
guy duo
Ahsoka,
ever. This kind
you
of Darth
got
Vader is like,
fucking Leia doing actual Jedi shit,
yeah,
and like they're like,
it's the fucking Avengers of Star Wars.
dude, that shit would be awesome. That would be like
Avengers
the greatest movie. Disney, take notes. Make a movie like this.
It'd be so badass.
Like, yeah, that's a great
Oh,
idea.
like-
I don't even know what to say. Like, dude, I think Vader would. I don't know. I just have a feeling that as soon as people seen Vader, even though Luke been fucking said all this shit, and I think people would try to kill Vader. Like the good guys would try to kill Vader. Like, fuck you, you dick.
Oh yeah, that's why he takes Vader, and Vader's in hiding for like years.
I
and years.
understand that,
You
but
know what I mean? So nobody knows that Vader's alive except for Luke and a couple people that Luke invites.
I know that, but but like,
And yeah.
as soon as Vader pops the fuck back up, you got Thrawn, and then you see Vader come in, they're gonna start shooting at Vader. They're like, what the fuck? Trying to kill Vader. So
He'd have to
they're
get a
like, this
different
fucking,
suit.
who
He'd have
brought
to
this
get a
dick to the
different
party?
suit.
Thought this dude was dead, man. What the hell?
He would definitely need like some kind of different suit or something.
Yeah, he would definitely like change his suit white, or you know what I'm saying?
White.
Like, dude.
Oh, white Vader. That's fresh. That's fresh.
You know, change it
A
to
white
like
suit with the gold chain and gold cape.
you know what I'm saying? Something like he'd have to do something. Like, dude, you couldn't come in just looking like Vader. Somebody's gonna shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
Like, remember you killed my master? Pow! We'll shoot him right in the back of the head. Luke's like, no, Dad. They're all looking like, what the hell? Because nobody really knows. Yeah, that shit would be stupid. I don't know. I don't know what would happen, but that would be a good movie to make because you could do all kind of twists and turns with that one.
Sick. I don't know. I just
You could go all kind of directions with that one.
It was a theory by Toy. It was posted by Toy Blaster Forever on Instagram. So if you want to look that up, I highly encourage it. It was so good. So Toy Blaster Forever on Instagram. Thank you for that. That was fire.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and we got Star Wars team leaders in the house. What's going on, Star Wars team leader? Chris, we got a new listener. He said he's all caught up with the Sway Show and certainly catching up on LightSaber Radio episodes. Well, thank you, man. We appreciate it. So let's get to I'm gonna get to the thing now. Star Wars team leader. I'm just gonna say this was some asshole shit because he did everyone in a different fucking in a different fucking text. He just didn't do them all at one time, so they're all out of order and they're all fucking different. He like did every single one different. Like, okay, so he has Slave 1 is number 5. All right. Let me show you. I love you, Star Wars team leader, but you know this is difficult. I'm gonna pull up the screen. Screen.
Oh, are these like the comments from last episode?
Yeah, this is the comments from the last episode. So you see how Star Wars team leader. This was not cool. So he has, they're all out of order. You know what I'm saying? And he did all 10 of them in a different comment. So number 5, we got number
Slave
5
one.
was Slave 1. Number 3 is Maul Ship.
So these are top 10 ships. Gotcha.
Yeah. 8 is Vader's TIE Advance. 9 Hammerhead Corvette. 4 is the Falcon. 7 X-Wing. 10 Lucen ship from Andor, 2 Lando's Lady Luck, 6 classic I can't say can't talk interdictor.
Star Destroyer.
And T-16 Land Speeder, M68 Han drives and Han Solo movie. That one reminds me of a 60s model Impala. Oh no, that was Darth Akari right there. So that was Chris.
What was his number 1?
I don't think he put it number 1.
He didn't put a number 1.
I don't know. It might be up here. So Dr. Kari, the Razor Crest and Ahsoka. Then we got Cad Bane ship, the Justifier. I don't even know what that ship looked like. 10, 9 is the Bo-Katan ship, B-Wing, 8 X-Wing, and 7. Oh, it says read more. Let me look here. All right, so at least we got it. Number 1 in one Starfighter. This is all from Darth Akari. Razor Crest. So it's like a tie between them two. 2 the Falcon. Slave 1 is 4. Oh no. Okay, I see what's going on. Okay, so Ebony Hawk. Vader's TIE Fighter. What's going on, Chris? Star Wars Team number 1, the Errant Venture, was a red Star Destroyer from Legends. A casino had cloak and huge hollow projection. Oh, that's pretty dope. I forgot about that. Clint said Lucian's Hallcraft was Padme. Okay, I don't understand that. So that's what everybody put down today for their top ships. I might have read it like an idiot, but them are some good ships. Some of them fit in our top ones.
That Luthen ship was sick. I wish I would have put it in my top. I totally had forgotten about it.
Okay. All right. Got a wedding today, but wanted to stop by and say hi. That's what Chris said. All right, Chris, man, what's up, man? Go enjoy yourself, man. Have a good day. You know, tell the bride and groom LightSaber Radio said congratulations.
Congrats.
I don't know. There ain't enough people in the world that's committing to marriage anymore. A lot of people just ain't getting married no more. You know, the
and if they are, they aren't taking it seriously.
And they get a divorce, and like, you know, the divorce rate is like 80%, and it's like in the first 5 years.
Wild.
Like, dude, you ain't even got over the hump yet.
It's BS.
You know, the first 5 years is one of the hardest times in anybody's life in the first 5 years of marriage. But once you get over that, it gets easy. It starts getting real simple. You know each other. You got to give time. And here's some marriage advice. Just don't argue. It's that simple.
Just don't. It's that easy. Just don't do it.
It's that easy. Just don't argue. Like, it's really that, like, you see the argument coming on, don't argue.
That's it.
Just don't do it.
Fucking hilarious.
Chris said it's cheaper to be divorced. Chris Nielsen said cheaper to be divorced. Tax returns.
Wait, really? Really?
Yeah, don't you know?
I'm just kidding.
Nah.
Hey, Addison. I'm just kidding.
Nah, we like that was like me and my wife made that when we first got together. We made like a pact that we won't argue. Not to say that we don't ever argue, but it's very, very, very rare that we get in an argument. Most of the time it was because I was drunk. But I don't drink no more, so it's a lot easier.
You don't drink and you don't talk about football. Or don't talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, we just decided not to argue. So we just don't argue. It's that simple. We start getting mad at each other. We just leave each other alone for a couple hours and then come back. I'm telling you, it's hard to, like, I'll tell you a secret. Here goes a secret. This is for everybody, okay? When your woman is yelling at you and she's wanting to argue, just say, I love you. Just say, I love you, and give her a hug. I love you. Just keep saying it. It's really hard to fucking yell and scream at somebody that's telling you that they love you. I don't know. It works.
Some women out there would find a way.
Yeah, there's probably some, but for the majority, the largest percentage, 90%, they're like, oh, you get on my damn nerve, and they'll just leave you alone. They'll be like, what the hell? All right, so we got some topics. We got some topics to talk about. So these are the hot takes. These are the stuff that are highly debated all the time within the Star Wars community because it's just what we argue about.
Insane.
But
I got
some of these hot takes, we got some new ones. Some new hot takes that probably ain't being argued about very much that probably should be. It'll be a good debate. So we're going to bring them up today. We're going to give you our unbiased, you know what I'm saying, opinion of that shit. And that means I'll probably say a lot of dumb, retarded shit that nobody's going to like. But it's all right because that's just what I do.
That's just what you
do. Hey, you got to be real. That's just all it is to it. You can't,
I feel you. No, you're good.
Fake.
You're good.
You can't be fake. I hate fake Star Wars fans. I'm a Star Wars fan. But then they can't admit that they didn't like something in Star Wars. That's a fake fan to me. You're not a fan. You're a freaking obsessed. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between fandom and obsession. Like, if you like Boba Fett, you're probably really not a Star Wars fan, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit was terrible. If you like the shakiness of the whole Obi-Wan Kenobi series, you should probably get smacked in the face. That shit was irritating as hell.
Dude,
If
I
it
didn't
didn't give
like
you a
it.
headache, you're obsessed. You have an obsession. And there's a difference between fandom and obsession. Because there's certain things that you're not going to like. That's just normal. You know what I'm saying? Normal people don't like shit. You know what I'm saying? They're like, I didn't really care for that too much. But we are definitely going to get into some fun things. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And we're definitely going to get into a hot take about Disney being dicks. And doing
Oh, bro,
dick shit.
fuck Disney. That's not a hot take at this
They
point.
do
Disney
fucked
sucks.
They make shit difficult for everybody.
No, that's not a hot take at this point. That could be my start. That'll be my not hot take. Disney sucks. I'm so fed up with Disney.
Dude, you know you're bad when an entire state is trying to sue you.
Wait, what?
Florida's trying to sue Disney.
Oh, no, that's yeah. I know what you're talking about.
The state wants to sue Disney for being assholes.
No, they just took away their protection.
Nah, this is the thing. And we're going to start it off right with this. Just because this is it's news at the same time. It's freaking terrible. It's good and it's terrible at the same time because we all get to see Ahsoka sooner than we thought because it's actually coming out on the 26th.
On Tuesday. They said a Wednesday. Yep.
So, but it's coming out at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's like fucking 11 o'clock
Fuck the East
Eastern
Coast.
time.
Fuck the East Coast.
You know
West
what I'm saying?
Side.
Like, what the hell? I might as well wait till Wednesday to watch the shit. Jesus Christ, I got to stay up till 11 o'clock. Then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? It fucks with the schedule of our show. You know what I'm saying? It messes it all up because we do a Wednesday show because that's the only day we do it. And that's with Garrison running home, flying into
Right
the
after
shitter,
school.
taking a shit and jumping right on camera. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't get out of school with it. What time you get out of school?
5:45. I'm at school
5:45.
from 9 to 5:45.
So now, you know what I'm saying, we got to do the show later. And it's all Disney's fault. You know what I'm saying? And Garrison's school fault, which is probably owned by Disney because they own everything.
Fucking nuts. Owned by fucking Daddy Crow at ASU. Fucking prick.
You know what I'm saying? So it's messed up. And that's a hot take. Who agrees? Who thinks that it's better? I want to get your guys' opinion. Who thinks this is better? That they dropping it a day earlier, but it's way late at night if you're on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, you're probably like, oh yeah, that's great. I get to watch it 4 hours earlier than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But if you're on the East Coast, because
You're going to wake up to all the memes. And
what's going on, Darth Akari?
I think, no, honestly though, like, I think it's better, but that's because I'm on the West Coast. So, because like, on
I'm in the
Wednesday,
Midwest.
I'd have to wake up early
Bodie, what's going on?
to watch
So
it
it's
on
like-
Wednesday.
you
I'd
know
have
what
to
I'm
wake
saying?
up really early to watch it on Wednesday, like before I go to school. So I have to watch it, wake up early, watch it all, then go to
I
school.
just don't know
at
why
9.
they're changing shit. They should have it coming out on Friday night.
I agree. It
You
should
know what
be
I'm saying?
Fridays.
Like prime
Oh
time
my
Friday.
God.
What the hell is this Wednesday shit? Who the hell is it's in the middle
I'm
of the week?
so sick of midweek.
We're talking
releases.
about Dr. Kari says, what are we talking about? Right now we're talking about the Ahsoka series, how they
Yeah.
changed the release date of the first 2 episodes. They're actually dropping it on Tuesday now at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast, that's
Bro,
like 11
it's
o'clock.
so-
You know what I'm saying?
which
Like, why
I'm
the hell?
fine with that. I'm fine with it.
Like, I
'Cause
gotta
can
stay up
watch
till
it.
10
That's, like,
o'clock
the
at night
perfect
'cause I'm
time
in
for
the
me.
Midwest.
6.
To watch it, like, I don't want to stay up till 10 o'clock to watch it. I'm old. I go to bed early. You know what I'm saying?
Right. For me, it's
But
perfect.
at the
for all
same
West
time,
Coast-
you know
or
what I'm saying?
East
Now I
Coast,
got to
it
stay up
sucks.
and watch it. So it's, you know what I'm saying? It's too late. And they're doing 2 episodes. So that's going to be 2 hours long. You know what I'm saying? I think it's an hour and 36 minutes for the first 2 episodes. But, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and I know that you could always just wait till Wednesday, watch it. It's on Disney Plus, but I want to watch it when it comes out because I don't want to wake up in the morning to a billion memes spoiling everything for me. You know, because I'm gonna wake up and then I gotta just go watch it. I can't look at my phone, and I have to look at my phone because I post stuff on Lightsaber Radio, and we post stuff. I post stuff on Star Wars Audio Archive, so I gotta look at my phone. Then I'm gonna get spoiled. Then I'm gonna be mad. So it ruins the time period that we have our show set. That and Arizona State University can suck a dick. No,
Yes, they can. Yes, they can, Kyle.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whatever school you go to.
They're too expensive.
Because Garrison don't get out of school till 5:45, so that means now on Wednesday night when we do the breakdown of the Ahsoka series, we got to do it later. So that means everybody got to stay up later to watch us, and that just sucks. Which some people just stay up, but it's crap, man. It's hot take. Disney is crap for doing this.
No, it's not a hot take at this point. It's known. Disney kind of sucks. I mean, they are like losing money on. They haven't made as much money as they've projected on like all of their recent shows. Their recent shows are tanking at the box office, and they just keep doing it.
And at least Mando season 3, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't Boba Fett.
It was terrible.
No, it wasn't terrible. It was
pretty terrible.
It was all right. I'm not ever gonna put down Boba Fett. I mean, not Boba Fett, but
Mando.
Mandalorian is the shit.
I'll put it down. It was terrible.
It wasn't the greatest. But then now they're talking about turning the 4th season into a movie. Like, no, I don't want a movie. I want another season. Because then a movie's gonna be 2 hours long, and I don't want it. I want it to be 8 episodes of an hour. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. And I want it to be good. But now they're talking about turning it into a movie. Like, and I don't get, this is my thing. I don't mind movies. You know what I'm saying? Come out to movies. I love going to the movies, which
I love going to the movies.
I was going to go see Oppenheimer, but my wife didn't.
You still haven't seen it?
God, man, my wife don't want to go see it, so I have to wait till it
so
comes out.
good, bro.
I can't just go to the movie. I'm not going to the movies by myself.
That's true. You don't want to be that guy.
I mean, I will. I have before. I used to go after work and just go to the movies. I'd get off work and just go to the movies and not tell nobody. Just be at the movies, chilling, eating popcorn by myself, watching a movie that I like. But now, I just don't have time to do that. So when I do go do something, I try to go do it with my wife. So I'm spending time with my wife. Today I got my grandbaby, so after we get off this show, I'm going to take my granddaughter and we're going to go somewhere and do something.
Aww.
Yeah, she's so cute. She's so little. She's like this big. She's just like, oh. I was holding her yesterday. It was great. I feel so wonderful. But, yeah, that's off topic. Babies are wonderful. Disney sucks. But I just, they I don't know. They just, it's like they're intentionally trying to me, this is the way I feel. Yeah, Chris, we'll be up watching it. Everybody knows we'll be up watching it.
Of course we are. Well, I'll be up because
all right, Chris, we're gonna call you Nielsen because we got Chris Kobeck. I didn't say your last name right.
Now we got
Chris.
2 Chris's.
Now we got 2 Chris's. So you're Nielsen.
Nielsen. Oh, that's Wilson. My bad.
Not Nelson. Nielsen. But so. Hey, I heard, man, shit. Okay, Star Wars team leader just said something. He said, just as you don't have to go see Barbie alone. LOL. It's freaking crazy. Like, more men are talking about the Barbie movie than women.
Really? I didn't even see it.
Yes, there's like all kind of men talk. First off, there's a bunch of punk ass men that talking about it's like bashing men. Like, because Barbie it's a Barbie movie. It's about Barbie, and Ken is kind of subservient to Barbie. We know that. That's
Ken is stupid. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there's like a whole bunch of men that's upset about the Barbie movie. They're like, you can't treat men like that. Like, shut up, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You're acting like a Barbie right now. You know
You're acting like a Barbie.
But yeah, Chris said. Nielsen said he's always went by Nielsen, so that's good. All right, but so you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where you know what I'm saying? Who cares? I just can't get it. Like, you're mad about Barbie. You're mad about what color freaking Ariel is. You're mad. Like, everybody's mad about some shit. Quit being mad. Just enjoy life. Shit, life is too short. I'm mad about Disney putting out, but it's not going to fucking kill me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lose my damn mind and go on Twitter and post for 6 days about some freaking Barbie shit. No, I don't care. It's just stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, y'all. Like, this is not good. People are taking shit way too far.
Let's
And Dr. Kari says it's all grown white men too. Yeah, it is. It is a bunch of, like, dude, you're a fucking bitch. What's wrong with you? Why are you over here bitching about Barbie? Who cares? It's a movie made for women, and then you're gonna go see it and bitch about it. The messed up thing about it, everybody says it's a good movie. Everybody, Joe Rogan, listening to Joe Rogan, he went and seen it with his kids. He was like, it's good, it's funny.
Wow.
Like, Bill Burr said it was good. Like, a bunch of people that went and seen it said it was a good movie. It's funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good movie. It's just not like you're going to see a Barbie movie. You know what you're going to see. Take it for what it is. It's a Barbie movie. You know, it's like going to see The Little Mermaid. You go to see The Little Mermaid. It doesn't matter what color she is because she's a fucking mermaid. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to say, you know what I'm saying, going to see the fucking Beauty and the Beast, and you mad because Mrs. Potts got a fucking Latin accent. Who gives a shit? It's a pot. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You just find a reason to bitch about shit. It just fucking, this fucking woke shit is fucking crazy. Like, dude. Oh. But back to Disney. Disney is just doing weird shit. And I don't know why they do this shit. It just upsets me. And Garrison is going to go in, and he's going to talk now about the ups and downs of the people that got the preview Ahsoka.
Hot takes?
Hot takes.
Oh, so we're getting straight to news then. All right.
Well, I'm not saying much.
Are we doing hot takes, or you want me to talk about Ahsoka?
Because you read through some of the comments. I haven't got a chance to read through the comments, so I'm kind of interested too. So I wanted to know what the comments were saying about the people, the critics, and the different people that got to preview the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka early.
There's been a lot.
Y'all want to watch the Ahsoka trailer first? Like, I think I got the last trailer, and we can watch it. I didn't get it edited or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying, to, shorten it up, so we might get kicked off, but we'll see. All right.
But
let's
there's
go ahead.
There's a lot of good and a lot of bad.
Let's go. Let's watch the latest trailer. Let's do that.
All right.
Let's see if it'll work.
But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna be honest. I've heard a lot of good and a lot of the bad seems to be stuff that we've already had. Probably.
The galaxy is still filled with darkness.
Blocking us off. Okay, there we go.
Can I make a difference?
You already have, and will continue to do Ahsoka. Hope is not lost.
There are so few Jedi left. She is coming.
Okay, real quick.
First
off, you're lying on the damn trailer. It's not coming out on August 23rd, you liars. But is that Hayden Christensen's voice? Because that don't sound like Hayden Christensen.
I don't know.
Just
that dialogue right there was kind of cheesy. I'm not gonna lie.
It doesn't sound like Hayden Christensen.
Not really. But Hayden Christensen does not sound like he did.
I don't know. It didn't sound like him. So I was kind of confused about
that.
But
I don't know. I feel like even in the fucking Kenobi series, he sounds different than he used to.
Well, that's because he's older.
I know.
He went from being 20 to 40.
That's what I mean. Like, that could be him, and his voice just
that don't even sound like him at all.
I can't tell.
We have to prepare for the worst.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war. That's why I'm trying to convince you to help me prevent another one.
Like, I could have swore I've seen this already.
Her eyes.
You have no power.
War is inevitable. We are no Jedi.
I bet your master found you difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine. Nice haircut.
Get ready.
Ready. Ready.
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything will be in vain.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
Buckle up.
Sometimes we have to do what's right, regardless of our personal feelings.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
I'm not here to discuss my past.
It looks okay. I know you're pumped for it, but
I'm pumped for it.
I don't know, especially after reading some of these comments. Some of the comments really good. Others, yeah. All right, so
get rid of this shit.
So these are all people that got to watch the pre-released first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. So this one, watch the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. Gorgeous show, surprisingly moody, score unlike any other Star Wars. This is as much Sabine's show as it is Ahsoka's. This is 100% Rebel Season 5, so make sure you're caught up before the premiere. Another one. I just watched
good.
Yeah, I just watched the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. It's a true visual spectacle. Rosario Dawson is phenomenal as the titular star. The fight scenes are epic and heart-pounding. The story has a rich and great themes about second chances and female empowerment. Seems to be a theme in a lot of movies nowadays. Females are being pushed really hard.
I don't care. As long as it's good, I don't give a shit.
As long as it's good. The first 2 episodes of Ahsoka are incredibly slow and wooden. Rosario Dawson is very flat in the title role, but Natasha Liu Bordizzo is a standout. Visuals are hit or miss. Some feel low budget at times. Super fans may enjoy the show, but newcomers or casual fans will be lost. Now we start getting into some negative ones. The first 2 episodes of Ahsoka are a mixed bag. A gorgeously crafted continuation of the world and characters from Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and Star Wars Rebels, mixed with mediocre writing. The characters are not interesting or investing yet, particularly the villains. Great potential, though.
Well,
that's another one.
Wait a minute. So, but you got to see if that's coming from somebody that's a Star Wars fan that's watched Rebels or is that just coming from somebody that's a newbie that just came in and they don't have no understanding of what's going on?
I mean, you got to, in order to say it's a continuation of Rebels and the Clone Wars, I'm assuming they watched that.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see.
But mediocre writing was the big thing they said. And we already know Disney does not have the greatest track record with writing.
Yeah, but Dave Filoni wrote this.
Yeah,
nobody else write this.
Yeah, but still, if
Dave
already
Filoni
we're hearing
shit.
stuff about bad writing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Another one.
Trust Dave.
I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. Rosario Dawson is so at home. But it's Natasha Liu Bordizzo and Sabine that steals your heart. Can't wait to see Ahsoka's full story. Multiple Force-sensitive women. Can I get a hell yeah? Another one. First 2 episodes of Ahsoka are really good. Even if you've never seen Rebels or Clone Wars, it's super easy to follow. Impressed with the action, how it's all story. No side missions or filler. That's a good one.
That's good.
And then another one.
In the Filoni verse. Got to trust in the Filoni.
But there was another one that talked about how this is more Sabine's show than it is Ahsoka's.
But, it just depends. Because you got to think, Ahsoka was not the main character of Rebels. Ahsoka wasn't the main character of the Clone Wars.
I know.
So for her to play a secondary, her to play that background character or,
is kind of her
what I'm saying, a side character is kind of in her position anyway.
Right.
So
but the thing that has me worried is just like in the Obi-Wan series, where this is the Obi-Wan series, and it was more about Reva. I'm a little bit worried that it's going to be, this is the Ahsoka series.
Different. You got to understand the difference, though, in that, because the difference in that is that the story was supposed to be about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then you brought in a whole new character.
Right.
And made the story about her. For Ahsoka to play the secondary character within a series, even though it's named Ahsoka, would still be prevalent to her because that's what she's always been. So it would make sense. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't feel bad. The only thing that bothers me,
You are really excited about this show,
no,
Kyle.
I'm looking at, I'm being optimistic.
I see.
And the only thing that bothers me is that when you say it's more about Sabine, which is all right because I love Sabine too. Sabine's a great character, but at the same time, it's like it worries me because Sabine's character was so well defined within Rebels. Like, why would you go back to her and put the spotlight on her? You know, and make her. Which, I mean, Dave could be writing it in a position kind of how he wrote Ahsoka when Ahsoka first came out in in Clone Wars. It was a lot about her, and then, you know, it went back to her just being the character that she was. Is he pointing out the likeness of the way that Sabine is important to the story? You know, is he just pointing that out to us within these first 2 episodes? So it does attract more to her story, but which I don't understand because Rebel shows a great deal of her. Because I mean, there's like 6 episodes, 10 episodes that's directly about Sabine, especially when she gets the LightSaber. You know what I'm saying? Right. So there's a lot of things about Sabine that make me
excited to see.
I don't know. It just kind of puts me in a mixed bag there. It's like, you know, all right, what is the potential behind it? And you won't know until you see the 3rd and 4th and 5th and 7th, 6th and 7th episode that why he came out strong like that. But it might be because, you know, Chris made a good, who was it, Chris or Star Wars team leader? Let me see. Star Wars team leader said it made her sound like a quitter. Ahsoka sound like a quitter, the way that she's talking within the trailer. And that, to me, you know what I'm saying, maybe the redemption quality. Like Sabine is really Ahsoka's redemption. For her, you know, quitting when she got kicked out of the
which
Jedi.
is good because we definitely need a little bit better character development.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. Until we see it, we're not going to know. And we still got a few days to go, which sucks because I wish it was coming out right now so I could watch it. Because now these comments make me even fucking more curious on what the hell. I just trust Dave. Dave wrote Clone Wars. He wrote the Rebels. Most of the fucking episodes of Mandalorian that he wrote were excellent. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff that he's worked on has been really, really good. It's John and his.
See, and it's funny because for me, I'm on the other side. Yeah, you trust Dave. I don't trust Disney.
Yeah, but Dave was the executive producer of it.
It doesn't matter. Disney has their name on it.
He directed it. He was the executive director, so he's the one making all the decisions.
Disney has their name on it, and that's enough to make me worried. You know what I mean?
I don't think Dave would have allowed anything to come out that wasn't good. I think he would have been like, no, if you guys ain't going to do it this way, we're not going to do it. Kind of like Tony did. You know what I'm saying? With Andor. Like, no, if you're not going to let me make it the way that I want to make it, I'm not going to do it. That seems like something. Dave is more like that. Dave told George Lucas that to do. And if Dave tells George Lucas, I'm not going to do, I'll meet you halfway, but I'm not going to do something that's crap. You know what I'm saying? Because George had some crap episodes that he wanted to do of Clone Wars, which we got 3 seasons of crap episodes. But, you know what I'm saying? It was just all story building. You know what I'm saying? Like the first 3 seasons was just, and the movie was just story building. It didn't get good until, I don't know, season 3 started getting good, but of the Clone Wars. The first 2 seasons were very, very boring. But they were all character building. Like the whole seasons were just building up characters and building up what was going on. So I understand it. You know, it just didn't make it that much fun. But I don't know. I trust Dave that he's not. If he would be willing to tell, you know, George Lucas that he wasn't going to do something just because that's the way. I mean, he'll tell Disney the same thing. I mean, if you're going to tell George Lucas, you know what I'm saying, then you got balls. You got balls enough to tell Disney I'm not doing that. That's the only thing that
Right. I get what you're saying. I just
and
you know me. I don't like Disney,
shit.
bro.
Like the first 2 seasons of the Clone Wars, I mean, he wrote them, but he wrote them with a direction. You know, it was something that had to be told in order for the rest of the to go. Look at season 7. Season 7 is freaking fabulous. They wrote that. So
Right. I don't know. I approach it where like I'd rather be pleasantly surprised than disappointed. So I'm going in expecting bad
I'm
things.
not going in to saying that
it's good.
I'm not going in to say this is going to be no 9, 10 because Disney don't produce that. But I will go in saying, you know,
What are you talking about? Andor was like 8 or 9, bro.
Like 8, but not no 10. Ain't nothing perfect.
Rogue One was 9.
Rogue One was like 8.
Okay.
It was like an 8. The only thing that's a 10 in the entire Star Wars period is the fight scene between Anakin and Obi-Wan. That shit was perfect. That shit was the greatest scene in movie history. That was it. Everything else, 8 or less. You know, and that shit was fabulous. Okay, so
let's get to some hot takes.
Yeah, that was the first hot take because that's a very, you know what I'm saying? We on different opinions here. This motherfucker.
Yeah. All right. I got a lot of hot takes. So, all right. First hot take. The Force is one of the most
crackling, fucked up sound that just happened. I had to move my microphone. That shit was looking stupid. It was just blocking my whole face.
In the movies, the Force is one of the most underused elements in the Star Wars universe, specifically its lack of use in combat.
What?
The Force is underused in the movies, especially in combat.
I agree with that.
Yes and no for me. I think because I think the way that they explain it is like they're so focused on using the Force to try to predict their opponent's move that they're not using as many like Force powers. And that's why I think, all right, it's a little bit different. It's not as like clean.
The only
as
reason I say that for like the movies, TV shows, blah blah blah, anything, you know, cartoons and stuff like that, is because the books they use it way more and they're way more powerful. They do way more powerful shit. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Force, you got real life force projections, not no fucking you use the Force and die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're actually fucking with people.
You know, you're putting armadas of ships in front of you and fucking scaring fucking people half to death. Like, holy shit, we're about to die. There's like 100 ships out here. Yeah, no. You know what I'm saying? They rely more on the Force in the books, you know, to do things and to accomplish things. Force running, Force jumping, a lot of Force stuff in the books. And they don't do that in the movies. A lot of the movies is more lightsaber battle, you know, shooting. It's more prediction stuff, you know, see the future crap. You know, it's not so much. They don't use it as much as, well, I don't know. Because you think about Yoda jumping around, he's using the Force.
He's using the Force. Dooku's little thing with Yoda, they were using the Force. Palpatine, he starts chucking the things at Yoda. That's the Force.
But that's still not a lot. We're talking about a very minimal amount of scenes where the Force is used.
I know.
Then they made it stupid when they started making Rey fly and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Then it was just dumb at that point. Like, why are you even doing that? Jedis can't fly. This bitch is just hovering in the air. You know, like hovering in the air is the same thing as flying. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, you're stupid.
All right. This one is going to, I guess, get you a little bit more riled up. The prequels are borderline unwatchable. They're fun to make fun of, but I would never call them good movies.
You're a fucking idiot, whoever said that.
And the one he says after, because it's the same guy that posted these.
Like,
the one he says after is going to be pretty big.
You're a fucking idiot. The fucking prequels, like, the only thing that's bad is the fucking sequels. The originals and the prequels are awesome. Like, they're just fucking great. But the fucking, you know what I'm saying? And the sequels is fucking watchable. They're just not fucking that good. They're at least watchable. So, fucking anybody that says the prequels are bad, fuck, my favorite movie is a prequel movie. Revenge of the Sith is the shit.
Which, I mean, there's going to be other ones, but yeah, I just, the prequels are rewatchable as shit. Like, the prequels are honestly probably my favorite Star Wars to keep rewatching.
Yeah.
Because there's so much. The prequels did the best job, while the filmmaking might not have been as good as, say, the sequels. Because objectively speaking, the filmmaking and the scenes and the cinematography was probably better on the sequels. I'll give it to you.
Well, that's because it's fucking
But
20
the
years
story,
later.
yeah, the story and the immersion and all the surrounding settings. The setting was so immersive for the prequels. The prequels really transported you to another galaxy.
And this is something that's always bothered me about the prequels is that they look so much better than the originals. But you got to remember, they're going back in time to, and this is what I tell myself, that they're going back in time into the height of the fucking, you know what I'm saying, the Republic. You know, the Republic was beautiful, everything was nice once Palpatine took over. In the originals, everything went to shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, plus the only things we get to see from the Empire, we don't get to see Coruscant. We don't get to see Naboo. We spend most of the time on fucking like Tatooine or like poor planets.
Yeah.
So that's partially why we don't get to see what it was like under the Empire. But dude, yeah, I think the sequels did the best job of creating an immersive like setting where you actually felt there's all these moving pieces in this pre-Civil War galaxy. So I thought the prequels were great. All right, Force Awakens is good, and The Last Jedi is just fine. This is going to be a recurring theme between the sequels. But I think sequels, if you put the sequels as their own movie, sure, it's not bad. It's okay. But if you put it within the rest of the Star Wars, it's terrible. It just doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
Hot take. I like Luke's arc in The Last Jedi.
Okay, say that again.
I like Luke's arc in The Last Jedi.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
I don't understand how this man, literally, Yoda, Obi-Wan, everybody's telling him, you need to kill Vader. You need to kill Vader. This is Space Hitler. You have to kill him. And Luke says, there is still good in him. I will not kill him. I will not kill my father. There is still good in him. So much that even Obi-Wan does his passive-aggressive, we've already lost. You were our last hope. Time to give up. Luke refuses to give up on Darth Vader and knows that there's good in him and correctly assumes so and gets him to join the dark side. Then, after one bad dream, loses his shit and tries to kill Kylo. After one bad dream, runs away and gives up on life and lives as a hermit. That's the exact opposite of what Luke would do.
I definitely agree with that. And his death, you know, at the peak of the arc was the stupidest way for anybody in the history of fucking Star Wars to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm even all right with Kylo killing fucking Solo, Han Solo. I'm even fucking all right with that. Like, at least Han Solo was trying to fucking get his son to do the right thing. And his son was a fucking dick and stabbed him in the stomach. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking, I'm all right with that. I hate that it happens because I think Han Solo should have been in all the movies. But I'm all right with that. Dude, you just force projected yourself across the galaxy and died. You didn't die in battle. You didn't die hero. You didn't die doing shit. You know what I'm saying? You died fucking just force projecting yourself. And then people will say, well, he was helping them get away. Fuck all that. He was died being a distraction. Come on now. Shut up. That's just stupid. That's just dumb. Fuck you. That guy's an idiot.
Yeah, Nilsson, you're right. Sequels absolutely ruined Luke, and they ruined the Skywalker saga. Sequels, as part of the story, sequels ruin the story of Star Wars. They're great as their own movies. They make sense.
If they said we're gonna remake Star Wars, and then they remade it and said this was the remake, I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, or if they said this is like this is not connected to the rest of Star Wars, this is our own story, sure.
Because it was basically a remake of the original, of the originals anyway.
Just
It's a
awful.
remake. Just some
awful.
bullshit remake.
Awful.
Fucking the fucking Force Awakens is just New Hope with different characters. That's all that shit is.
All right. Ryan Johnson is a good filmmaker.
I agree that he's a good filmmaker, just not a Star Wars filmmaker.
He's a good filmmaker. I'll even say, okay, here's my hot take. Because Ryan Johnson did The Last Jedi, right?
Yeah.
I thought The Last Jedi of the sequels was its best as a standalone movie. Compared to the other two movies, if you're taking it out of the storyline of Star Wars and making it its own like trilogy, right? I thought The Last Jedi was the best. It had the most emotion to it. It had the most moving pieces. It was the most complex. It hit on some really cool themes. I liked it. But in Star Wars and within the extended like prequels and originals, it's terrible. But as its own trilogy, I thought it was the best of the sequels.
You should get kicked in the nuts for just saying that.
No, I
That is
think it was the
fucking
best
terrible.
of the sequels.
What
Why?
the fuck? The way that they did fucking Luke Skywalker, even if it's a
No,
standalone
that's
movie,
what I
just
mean.
the way they
That's
did
what
Luke
I mean.
Skywalker.
That's what I mean.
It was fucking made the movie terrible. It
this-
made it the worst movie out of all the movies that was made. Just by the way that they did fucking Luke Skywalker.
Kyle, yes, I agree with you. But if you take it as its own movie,
It don't matter if it's
a
his own
different
movie. If
Luke
you took it-
Skywalker,
if you
this
took
is
the
a
sequel-
different story.
If you took the sequel trilogy out of fucking Star Wars, like just took it out, it made the sequel trilogy just its own story. Just by the way that they did Luke Skywalker, even if it was an alternate universe.
No, that's what I mean.
Just by the way that they
But
did Luke
there is no
Skywalker, it don't
Luke.
matter. It don't matter. Just the way that they did Luke Skywalker made it the worst movie out of all the Star Wars movies ever.
I know.
I would rather watch the fucking holiday special than I would watch that bullshit again. Now, fuck them, man. Fuck Disney for fucking making Luke Skywalker a bitch.
No,
Done.
I know. But you're taking it within the story of Star
I'm
Wars.
not taking it within the story.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
just saying.
Because you're talking about Luke Skywalker. You changed the
It
name
don't
of
even have
every
to be
character.
Luke Skywalker. We can take Luke Skywalker out of the motherfucking
Yeah,
equation. Okay.
change the name of every character. and it's an all right
It's a
show.
whole nother character, whole nother Jedi Master, whole nother. The way that person died made it the worst movie ever.
Gotcha. Just by
Made it the
force
worst
projecting.
movie ever. Just the way that person died. That shit was stupid.
Yes.
That was the
And
dumbest shit I
casino.
ever seen.
Nelson, I'll give it to you. The casino was trash. You take out Casino and Luke Skywalker, it wasn't half bad.
No, man, fuck it. If I was going to rate the sequel trilogy, I would put 9 as the best one, just because.
Oh, 9
was
was
fun
the
to
worst.
Watch.
No, 9 was
just
the
because
worst.
it was fun to watch. At least it had some fucking lightsaber battles and some fucking crazy shit going on and a bunch of fucking quick action and shit. That because none of them had a good story. All their
For
stories
me,
sucked.
9 was the absolute worst.
No, 9 would have been fucking. At least it
goes
was something good
7,
to watch.
Then 8, then 9.
It's like watching Terminator 47. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's pointless to have a story. It's just fucking to see the Terminator fucking kill a bunch of shit. That's how 9 was. It was fun to watch. Other than that, until the very end where she says, "My name is Skywalker," then it was like, this is the worst movie ever.
No. All right.
But you take that part out, it was the fucking movie, the fun part of watching the movie, it was fun to watch. The story sucked, it was just fun to watch. A lot of action, a lot of good shit to see. But other than that, which none of them had a good story except the Force Awakens, and the only thing that made Force Awakens a good story is the exact
It was
same
a
story as A
remake.
New
Yeah,
Hell.
exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Here's another hot take. This is kind of a longer one, but while they're absolutely rough this is exactly what I said. While they are rough from a filmmaking perspective, the prequel movies present by far the most intriguing setting of all 3 movie trilogies. A decaying republic, an army made up of essentially slaves, a secret religious conflict around an order of clerics at the head of the government, morally ambiguous conflicts with large-scale symmetrical battles. The movies were barely interesting in some of these concepts, but they set them up and provided the space for them to be explored elsewhere. I agree with that. Just an amazing, intense setting was the best part of the prequels, I think. All the moving pieces and all the reasoning behind it. There was so much depth to the sequels, and I think that's what made the sequels so good. There was more depth than anything else, and more depth in the setting than anything else. I agree with that.
I don't know. I mean, it explained the movies, but there was so much more depth to the movies. So the original trilogy had the depth of, you know what I'm saying, finding who you are. You know, so finding out who you are, where you're placed within the galaxy, and what's your purpose. So, you know, basically the meaning of hope. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're that's what the whole original trilogy was based on. The sequel trilogy was just crap. The prequel trilogy was the leading to what was to happen. You know what I'm saying? It sent us back in time. And the depth that they put in there, especially for Anakin's arc in the trilogy. How he came from a boy, you know what I'm saying? He was born by the Force. You know what I'm saying? He falls in love. That's what turns him to the dark side because he's unwilling to give up attachment. And that's what leads him solely to the dark side. The character development of Anakin throughout the prequel trilogy was freaking phenomenal. It was phenomenal. They didn't, and I love the way that George pushed on to that. Like, we got a lot of Obi-Wan Kenobi's growth, but it was focused. It focused a whole trilogy on a character so we could find out what that character, what went behind the character turning into the fucking space Hitler.
And it did such a good job of showing like a real understandable look at the decline of good and the rise of evil. Yeah.
It was very relatable.
Because any one of us in Anakin's position would, like, we would want to save our spouse. We would do evil things in order to save our spouse. Most people would. Most people are like,
to save your family, you'll do just about anything.
That's the thing. And it's morally complex where it's like a lot of us, maybe we wouldn't go kill younglings, but we understand the drive and we understand the steps that Luke took to do this. He wasn't just some bad guy because he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy that most of us because he's driven by this fear and heartache.
The reason most of us wouldn't go kill younglings or kill children, because if you're doing it to save your wife and your children, you know what I'm saying? Because technically it wasn't just about Padme all the way. You know, she was pregnant with a child. So he was trying to save her because, you know, like most men, like, I'm not trying to take care of no kid by myself. What do you think?
Until he choked her.
You got to survive.
Until he choked her out. We could totally understand where he was going.
But, you know what I'm saying? And the reason that most of us wouldn't fucking go kill, because that's somebody else's kids. That's what we're trying to save in our kids. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to save our kids. We're trying to save our wife. We're not going to go kill a bunch of other people's wives and kids, you know what I'm saying, to save them. That's just not morally correct. Which I don't know, there's some people out there that don't give a fuck. They'll do that. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, the depth behind the story is what gave it, like, you could relate to Anakin in every way possible. We've all done bad shit. We've all done shit that we can sit back and look back like, oh, man, I kind of regret doing that. That was kind of fucked up. And for him to go through that and do that, and then the leading up to, like, you get rid of all the fucking, you know what I'm saying, how great it looked, and, you know what I'm saying, all the new technologies and shit that they didn't have in the originals, and you get past all that shit. And just look at the direct storyline behind it. The storyline was excellently written. I mean, that shit was fucking, like, you could follow the story to a T, and it was relatable. You know what I'm saying? It was relatable. We can see it in our everyday lives. We can see it in the world. You know what I'm saying? We can see it with our own government. We can see it within, I mean, it has so many different aspects in it. That's what made it so great. And I mean, I guess I'm agreeing with what the person is saying, because that's basically what they're describing. I just don't agree with the way they describe it. But the depth of the prequels is what made it so good. And how he could, you know, 6+ hours of directing on this one character and made you want to follow that character.
And it's not even the depth of the character, but also the depth of the Galactic Republic and how that's happening, of the Sith rising from the shadows, of the decay of the Republic, of the wars that are happening between the Separatists and the Republic. Like the entire galaxy had depth. All of it made sense. All of it felt real. Nothing was written off as like, nothing was like, oh, how did this First Order come up? I don't know. The First Order just came out of nowhere. Everything made sense. There was a story for how everything was brought into this galaxy where nothing felt rushed. Everything felt like this makes sense. Not somehow Palpatine returned, but like all of the bad guys, all the good guys, all of the different factions, all of the settings made sense. And so that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah. I mean, it was the best way that you could explain a character, where a character came from, that you could do. It was the best. I mean, I don't think anybody else could do what George did in explaining and extending out a character. Even though there was a lot of other characters, we got to understand that the prequels was about Anakin Skywalker. It was about the lead to Darth Vader. That's what that whole shit was set up about. It explained, where Luke came from, where Leia came from, but the whole thing was based on Anakin Skywalker. Right. And that's one of those times where the beginning of a movie, because in The Phantom Menace, the beginning of the movie, you got to remember, for the first 20, 30 minutes of the movie, we don't even have Anakin Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that. We have Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Padme and Jar Jar, but to be able to build up to the point when you meet Anakin and to take it from that point all the way to the very end, and it was all about showing what led up to the point of Anakin becoming Darth Vader. It's basically six hours or 6+ hours of us learning how Darth Vader became Darth Vader, and it was excellently done. It was excellently done. Right. Because a lot of people be like, oh, the prequels was about Padme. No, it wasn't. It was about Anakin turning into Darth Vader. Or it was about Obi-Wan. No, it wasn't. It was about Anakin turning into Darth Vader. It was an explanation of how Anakin became Darth Vader. And how the Emperor takes over as the fucking Emperor. But it was mostly about Anakin becoming Darth Vader. That was just a backstory within Anakin becoming Darth Vader. who Anakin Skywalker is. That was basically the explanation of the entire prequel trilogy, how Anakin becomes Darth Vader. And then the secondary storyline was how Palpatine becomes the Emperor, and then how, Obi-Wan gets stuck in the desert, and how
we get into this world.
All of them were secondary stories within the main story. That's good writing. When you can have like 9 different secondary stories within a main writing. We didn't get that in New Hope. We didn't get that in the prequel trilogy or in the original trilogy. We definitely didn't get it in the sequel trilogy. That was
it's
like
epic.
I said,
it's epic.
It's some of the best fucking writing ever. That's what made George Lucas so good. Right. And when people try to put down the prequel trilogy, most of the things that they put down the prequel trilogy for when the prequel trilogy came out was, oh, why does it look so good? Why does it... Come on, dude. The fucking Empire wasn't in control of the Republic. It was at the height of its fucking... Basically, it's the end of the High Republic. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to look nice. It's not supposed to look like it's been fucked up by the Empire. That was the biggest argument that people had. The biggest argument that people had was, why does it look so much better than the original trilogy? Well, first off, it's made 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? So you got way better technology, and in the time period with what it is. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they had better communicators and better blasters and better ships and better... Yeah, the Empire just stole all that shit to build the Death Star, which we're finding out in Andor. You know what I'm saying? They were fucking... slave labor. They was killing the planets, taking everybody's technology, making them weak so they couldn't fight against the fucking Empire. It was all, you know what I'm saying? And that was the biggest fucking complaint when the prequels originally came out. Oh, how can it look so much better than the original? Like, dude, think. It's better time.
All right. Let's get on to another one. Sorry, we just got a lot to cover.
Wait a minute. We gotta read some of the comments. Dr. Kari says agreed, but they weren't so fucked up. I agree until he admits that he screwed things up for J.J. Abrams. That was talking about fucking Ryan Johnson. Yeah, I do agree with that. That's Dick. That's Dick. I don't know what that means. Nielsen said, I like The Last Jedi up until they went with some master code breaking casino crap. Yeah, we talked about that. We lost Garrison for a second. My hot take, Anakin, is what happens when a boy grows up without a dad. That's true. I mean, we see that in everyday life. And that's an actual proven statistic. Most men that grow up without a father are less likely to succeed and more likely to turn to crime and other things like that. That's a proven, the statistics is really high on that. Star Wars team leader says, Star Wars is just how R2 brings bad luck to people around him. That's a good point. That's a very good point. That's definitely a good point. Because whoever's around R2 just be getting done dirty. Like, if you really think about it, everybody that's around R2 they're like sucks, man. Like, somebody should have shot R2 in the head. Like, like his power converter should have blew off the top of his head. I ain't never thought about that till just now, but you're completely right. You are completely right about that. Damn, I ain't never think about that. R2 is in all 9 of the movies, and it's just hell. Like, it's not good. Yeah, we completely lost Garrison must have lost the internet signal. He'll be back in a second. Yeah, that's crazy. I ain't never thought about that, but R2 that sucks. R2 is, but I don't know, C-3PO's in all the movies. So it might be just them as a combination. They both suck. It's just both bad. I don't know. Could be worse, though, I guess. You know, could be worse. Could be worse. I don't know how it could be any worse. I'm lying. It can't be. Could you imagine? Let me ask y'all a question. Could you imagine living in Star Wars when all this shit was going on? Or like during the Republic Empire War, like living through that shit. You're just trying to go to work every day, and you got people blasting, blowing up planets, destroying everything. That would suck so bad. Like, we be thinking our lives is bad here on Earth. Like, dude, just imagine living during Star Wars, like during that time. You know what I'm saying? Or living in Star Wars. Like, if that was a real thing and you had to live in it, like how bad that would be to freaking have to live through that shit. You're starving. The Empire done took all your food. Star Wars team leader said, in A New Hope, C-3PO even says R2 does nothing but bring him bad luck. There ain't shit. R2 is in all the movies. All them people going through a lot of bad shit. As soon as they think something good, something new happens, like, it's just freaking, like, R2 is old as shit. God, think about it. R2, let's see, R2's in all the movies. Chewie's in all the movies, too. He's old as shit. We know Chewie's like 200-some years old. I wonder how old R2 really is. That's a good question. I'm going to find that out and put it in the questions. I'm going to put it in the questions. How old is R2-D2? Let's see. I was checking to see if Garrison chimed in, hit me up and said anything. But yeah, that's a good point. Another hot take. Y'all want to hear another hot take? There's a lot of people that think Kylo Ren is the best villain in Star Wars. Who would agree with that? Like, I literally got into a 2-day argument with like 20 people on freaking Twitter talking about some damn Kylo Ren is the best villain in Star Wars. I was like when the dude first said it, because I put up something about Kylo Ren being an emo, and he like they just went nuts on me about Kylo Ren being the best villain ever. And I was like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Garrison's trying to come back, but for some reason his camera ain't clicking in. We can't see you.
Oh, you can't see me? I can see me.
Wait. Yeah, now I can see you.
Okay.
It's like really your internet's like really, really crappy right now. You're like glitchy as shit.
Bro.
Oh, there you go. It's getting better.
We pay extra for good internet. And
yeah, so do I.
Fucking, yeah, dude. It's been crashing out like every day. And it just fucking poops. I don't know what's going on with it. It's
too many people
pissing me off. Oh, that's the thing.
Oh, we lost him again. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's gone. Yeah. Nielsen, I think he could have been way better. I think he could have been. I think Kylo Ren could have been a great bad guy, but the best bad guy in Star Wars, like, hell no. Like, the best bad guy in Star Wars has to be either Darth Vader or Palpatine. Has to be. Palpatine was fucking evil as shit, man. That guy was evil. He was like, I aspire to be Palpatine. I want to be like Palpatine when I grow up. I want to take over the galaxy. Turn everybody to the dark side. Yeah, nah, but I'm arguing with these guys online, and it's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, dude, what did he do? He stabbed an old guy, or cut down an old guy. Other than that, he didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Chop somebody's head off, some snitch's head off. Like, dude, other than that, like, shit, Darth Vader killed like 1 million Jedis, you know what I'm saying? Palpatine took over the entire galaxy. Like, Kylo Ren couldn't even whoop fucking Snoke. Like, he had to trick him to kill him because he couldn't have whooped him one-on-one. You see how powerful Snoke was, which was crazy. Anybody think about how powerful Snoke was? Snoke was just snatching Rey through the air like she wasn't shit. And Luke was scared of fucking of Snoke. He was. That's why he went and hid, because he knew they was after him. He went and hid like a bitch because he knew that Snoke was after him. Snoke was a powerful motherfucker, even though he was just some genetic clone of Palpatine and who knows who else that was just all fucked up looking. He was a powerful dude because he was snatching Rey around like she wasn't shit.
Really?
But
yeah, that's
like,
true. That's true.
Rey, I mean, like Kylo Ren being the best bad guy in Star Wars, like, dude, you're tripping, man. Like, I would take Maul over fucking Kylo Ren any day. Like, if somebody asked me to pick my fucking, like, team of bad guys that I had to team up with, Maul would be there, Palpatine would be there, Vader would be there. If it had to be Kanan. And then maybe Bane and fucking Revan, because now they're canon, and Malgus. You know what I'm saying? That would be my team. But, like, if it was only from the movies, it'd be fucking Maul, Darth Vader, and Palpatine. Boom, done. That's my team right there. I'll take on anybody. But I'm not picking Kylo Ren over them three. Hell no. That dude couldn't even kill a fucking hologram.
All right. Are you ready for more hot takes? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
Your screen is just all glitchy as shit.
Fuck, dude. It pisses me off. I gotta call the internet company again. We've called them multiple times, and they're like, nothing's wrong.
We're like, then why the hell is my Wi-Fi? You might need to get a Wi-Fi booster. Well, you're plugged in, right? So it's not just Wi-Fi, it's your internet. Darth Akari says, all he did was whine about how he wanted to be like his grandpa and couldn't live up to that. Yep, that's true. That's definitely true. That dude was a whine. Like, dude, this shit's just irritating, man. Like, dude, they could have he had so much potential to be hard. And he looked like a scarecrow anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, in real life. Nielsen says, Bane is so ruthless. One moment that sticks out of the book trilogy is when he murdered the kid in front of their dad and then him next. Yeah, that shit was brutal. A lot of people fail to realize that goes back. I think that's where, because that book was written before the prequels came out. So I think that's where they got Anakin killing the freaking. I think that's what they took that from, Anakin killing the younglings, because yeah, he kills the kids, makes the dad watch, and then uses the fear and the grief and everything that the dad has to power himself so he can move on and get, because he's dying because what's her face poisoned him. Yeah, that was a good part of the book. But you guys know I'm more Sith like. Yeah, I can hear you, but I just like you're all glitchy and shit.
All right. Well, you don't have to look at my face. My face is ugly. All right. Sorry, I was trying to find more hot takes. Like, I have a shit ton. Clone Wars is the best canon era in Star Wars at the moment.
Like the animated
the Clone
series?
Wars era. No, just the Clone Wars era. So the prequel era is the best era.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. That's not that hard of a take. I mean, that one's.
Agree with
there's
that.
so much going on. Yeah.
That shit what made Star Wars fun is when the Clone Wars started.
I blame Padme. So Padme could have prevented Anakin from going full dark side, and she also helped him to become full dark side. Like, some of the blame rests with Padme.
Some of the blame rests with Padme. All the blame rests with Padme. It's all Padme's fault. If Padme just wouldn't have been a damn cougar, then none of that shit would have happened.
Well, no, not even. Yeah, one, why are you fucking, like, you know it's wrong. Why are you trying to fuck around with this Jedi? Two, all right, let's say you are married. He's worried about you dying in childbirth. Try to comfort the man. Tell him it's okay. Even if I do die, you'll make it through. No, dude, none of that. We don't see any of that shit. Then, once he does all this shit, immediately she goes, "You're a monster." Okay, yes, he's a monster, but try to, like, talk to him. Recognize the path. Recognize what he's doing and stop him ahead of time. Like, you're doing nothing. Like, woman, come on.
Darth Akari says, have them come out and check all your lines. I had to do that, and turns out someone cut my internet line with a weed eater. Star Wars team leader says, I got a broken cable outside. They refuse to fix it because the outer covering still holds it together. But if the wind blows, I lose internet. Been fighting 2 years with them. Damn, that's 2 years. Fuck, I'd fix that shit my damn self by that point. Never get coax cable if you can avoid it.
Jeez. No. She dated him when he was 18. That's when she met him.
I was reading what the comments that people put on for your internet.
Yeah. Here's another hot take that's kind of a joke, but when Padme met Anakin, he was 18.
What?
And yes, think about it.
He was 18. He was like 7.
No, he was 18. No. He was 9, but years are in respective to the sun. How many times you go around the sun? Tatooine has 2 suns. Therefore, it's doubled. He's 18.
That's stupid. Whoever came up with that dumbass, that's just dumb.
I'm just playing. All right. Blame Padme.
Anakin's to blame for that shit, because I promise you Anakin used the Force to persuade her to fucking give him some.
Okay, another hot take. A New Hope is the worst of the original trilogy and the original 6 films. That's tough. I agree with it being the worst of the original trilogy. I'll give you that.
Yeah, because Return of the Jedi is better than...
If you take out the Ewoks, Return of the Jedi is my favorite. But you put the Ewoks in, and that drops it pretty far.
Because
I do not like the Ewoks.
If I was to rate the first 6 movies, the first 6 movies, it would be at the bottom. New Hope is boring. We just watched it.
It is.
It is very, very, very boring. Especially at the
better
beginning.
than any of the sequels. But
Yeah, it's way better than the sequels, but it was very boring. But that's because it was all about character development. It was leading into all who the characters was.
Right.
George told a story based and character development. That the first movie was about character development. It was about leading us up to, to Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and what Luke had to do, and you know what I'm saying. And he did an excellent job at it, but it was not the most fun movie to watch. The end was great, but the leading up to them being on the Death Star and them blowing up the Death Star was very long and drawn out. But it was a good story, so it made it worth it. But it wasn't the best out of everything when it came to. It didn't have a good mix of story and action. Let's put it like that. It was more story driven than it was action driven, so it wasn't a good mix.
Yeah. It was more the idea that made it big. It was the idea of this blend of fantasy and sci-fi. And I think that's what made it so popular. It wasn't that specifically. It was like the movie was exciting. But at the time,
the first time I watched it.
It's a golden idea that people
The first time I watched it was very exciting. But like as you get older and as you watch it, like, damn, I didn't ever realize how boring this was. Shit is very boring. You know what I'm saying? Because it's leading up to something.
Right.
But you realize that the story is phenomenal. The story, and then when it was made, you got to understand when it first came out, nothing like that had ever been done before. So that's also what made it very appealing to everybody, because nobody had ever done the things that George did within that movie. So, yeah, but the overall, like, the story was great, but like when you're comparing it to the rest of the movies, they had a good balance of action and story. They just were better. They just were better. So I agree that New Hope was probably my least favorite out of the first 6 movies. But go by, like, the first time I ever seen A New Hope, it was the best thing ever fucking created. Like, I would fucking watch New Hope over Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi when they were first released. Because New Hope, they were just relatable. Because I was a small child and I was like, shit, this is great. I can be a fucking Jedi one day. So the nostalgia factor played a big part with me. But like when you watched all the rest of the movies, it's like, dude, I don't want to watch New Hope. I want to watch fucking Revenge of the Sith or Empire Strikes Back first. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Rogue One is easily the best content produced under Disney, and I enjoy it more every time I see it.
Agree.
Rogue One.
It's the best Star Wars movie that they've ever produced.
Best Disney thing ever.
Rogue One was phenomenal.
Yeah. I honestly rank, this is my personal hot take. Rogue One is in the top 3 of Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Mine is Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, and then Rogue One. That's when we did the movie, when we did the thing.
Rogue One is,
and I might put Rogue One above Empire Strikes Back. It just, I don't like the fact of that there's no Force in Rogue One. That's the only thing that pushes me down. The talking of Force is one thing, but there's no Jedi, there's no Force in there, and Star Wars should always have at least one or the other. It got to have the Force in it. That's one of the main contents of Star Wars. You got to have the Force in it.
Here's a hot one that I think you might make people upset, but I don't know. The Clone Wars is 25% awesome, really awesome, and 75% boring filler.
What, the fucking cartoons or the movie?
Yeah, the cartoon.
The animated series?
Yeah. 25% of the episodes blow you away, while 75% of the episodes are boring filler.
You're a goddamn lie.
Yeah, no, I kind of see what he's talking about.
No, man. Oh, if you reversed it, 25% of the fucking are fillers.
Because you get through like the first 4 seasons.
And 75% of them are fucking great.
No, dude, the first 4 seasons are like,
No, after about midway of season 3, it starts getting good. It starts really getting good, and there's some good episodes in the first 2 seasons. They're just not a lot of them. But I would say if you reverse that, if you said 75% of it was good and 25% of it was filler, then I would agree with that. But if you reverse that and say 25,
I maybe go like 50-50, but
Nah, because there's a lot of good
Bro,
episodes.
there's a lot of the Clone Wars that was kind of pointless and dumb.
Nah, it's not. It's fucking because you got to look at it as a creative point of view. The first 2 seasons are not that bad. They're all fucking. The thing about they're just boring because it's all fucking character development. It's all story development leading up to, you know what I'm saying, what basically it's just a continuation in between the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith. It, all leading up to fucking Anakin turning to the dark side. All the different things that lead up to Anakin turning to the dark side. It has a great backstory because it's telling us about what's going on within the Clone Wars that helps Palpatine come into being the Empire. The things that make the sequel trilogy so good were just continued into the Clone Wars. People think because it's not a lot of action, it's character development. They had to show you what was going on. So a lot of the episodes, yeah, they're not that great, but if you really watch them, it's all about character development. So it has great writing and the story is great. It's just not high in action and, you know what I'm saying, there's not a lot going on, you know, when it comes to action pack because it's telling you about these characters and how they got to where they're at. You know, you had to lead into where Ahsoka left so they could bring Ahsoka back one day. They had to leave into where Rex got to where Rex is at. They had to show you who Yoda was and his deal within in the Clone Wars and how all the Jedis were spread across the galaxy. That's what it did. And all 7 of the seasons led us up to, you know what I'm saying, where Rebels would start and how Rebels was going after, you know, lead us up to Revenge of the Sith, then it led us to New Hope and then to Revenge of the Sith, and then it led us into Rebels. Everything led up to that point. You know what I'm saying? So right. When you look at it like that, now there was some episodes, and I'm not gonna lie, there was some episodes that was just fucking terrible in Clone Wars, like, oh my God, but it wasn't that many. If you really go back and you watch it, there's really not that many bad episodes. And some of them episodes is episodes that people think are great, and it was like, dude, this episode had no meaning to the story whatsoever. And this is like, oh, but it's one of those things where it's like big flashy, boom, 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 boom. You got all this action going on, but there was no development in the story whatsoever. That's a filler episode. People fail to realize a filler episode is something that is put in there just to fill a spot. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, filler episodes are just a bunch of action-packed scenes that have no meaning to the story. They're about characters we don't even care about whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And that's what leads to that point. You know, that's what leads up to the thing. Even like the what's his face, the Jedi that turns to the dark side and has the clones killing each other, whatever his name is, Prague, right. Whatever the hell his name is. You know what I'm saying? Like even that episode had meaning because it shows, you know what I'm saying, how far, you know what I'm saying, like the Jedi are following within this time and what they're seeing. Plus it shows how far the clones will go for the leading to the Jedi, you know, following the Jedi orders. And that, which leads when you go into the Bad Batch, when you go into things like that, you're looking at that and you see why they're like, dude, why are we doing this? How easy it was for them to kill the Jedis and then how easy it was for them to start questioning what they were doing. Like, wait a minute, this ain't right. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff leads into each other. And that's what makes it good. That's why I would say 75% of them are good because they're all story content. They leading up to something. Now there's definitely filler episodes within the Clone Wars, but it's not no 75%. I would say it's opposite.
There's another hot take. People only like the Clone Wars because they grew up with it. Humanizing the clone army is a bizarre creative choice spurred by the need for extra protagonists in a kid's show. I half agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think people like the Clone Wars because they grew up with it. Because I didn't watch the later seasons of Clone Wars until I was older. I did not like when the Clone Wars was coming out when I was growing up, I did not like it. I didn't because I watched the later episodes when I was like an adult. I took a big break, and that's what made me like it better.
My thing is this.
But humanizing the clone army, yeah, that is a little weird.
I mean, I wouldn't even say humanizing the clone army. I watched it when I was an adult when the shit came out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, just watching it, they were just good stories. And it was one of the first times we, like, seen... Because back in the day, you had TV shows. It was like, you know, whatever, the Simpsons, and none of these were linear. Like, none of the TV shows we had were linear. They didn't follow suit on nothing. We didn't have that. What we had on them TV shows or them things that came on TV were called soap operas. That was Days of Our Lives, Falcon Crest, Dallas, all that weird shit. There was shit that continued from the last story. To me, as an adult watching, or late teen, early adult watching the Clone Wars, I got Star Wars every week, and it continued. The story continued. It was like a soap opera for kids, or soap opera for adults, or whoever watched it. Right. And that's what made it so good, because it was a continuing story. You didn't have that back in them days. Right. Back in them days, it was either like you had the Married with Children, that every episode was freaking different. You know what I'm saying? Some different shit. Or you had Falcon Crest, or, Days of Our Lives, or, whatever. That's the only thing that continued. And Star Wars gave us a combination of the both. You know what I'm saying? They gave us that thing. So that's why I liked it. That was my real intrigue with it, because I got Star Wars every week, and it was just like one long ass story. You just learned more every time you watched it. You learned more about what was going on with the Clone Wars. You more about Anakin Skywalker. You learn more about Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, the different characters within it. You learned more about it every week. You got to learn more about it. And that's what made it good to me. So I don't really agree with that, because, like I said, I was an adult when the shit came out, or I was a teenager, in my late teens.
Yeah, so that one's different. All right, here's another one. John Williams is more responsible for the success of Star Wars than George Lucas. I would not say more. That's a stupid take.
I wouldn't say.
I say he contributed greatly.
He's a large contributor, because John Williams' music. Without that music, I mean, could you imagine watching Star Wars without that music?
Oh man!
Like, if somebody went in and fucking just like redid Star Wars and put a bunch of different fucking music to that shit, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you watching?"
Yeah,
to me, that's not. Yeah, I would
George,
say he's a major contributor to the movie, but like, to be better than
more
George
responsible.
Lucas,
no,
no, because without George Lucas, there is no story. You know what I'm saying? There is no movie. There is no John Williams. John Williams got great because of Star Wars. If anything, George Lucas made John Williams who he is today.
All right, here's another one. Obi-Wan had the saddest life after Anakin. So Anakin had the saddest life. Obi-Wan had the second saddest life in Star Wars.
I don't know if Anakin's life was very sad.
I mean,
you space Hitler.
You kind of took over the Empire. You were like number two.
Like, his life is not that sad.
That sounds pretty good. I'd love to be number two. Like, yeah, you had to lose your wife for it, but
like,
I don't know. It's pretty.
I could say Obi-Wan's life sucked. I don't know. Just depends on that's one of them questions that you really have to ask yourself. Yeah. Like, because being alone sometimes is fucking wonderful, but I don't know about being alone for 18 fucking years. Like, Jesus Christ. You know, this dude just lived by himself for all that time. One. Like, that would suck. But at the same time, being by yourself is fucking awesome sometimes, when you ain't got like, when I come home from work and ain't nobody here, I'll be like, oh shit, man, I can just fucking relax. I ain't got to fucking listen to nobody talking. I can get some work done and fucking chill out. And so I don't know. I mean, that's I'm in between on that one. Like, I don't know. I don't know if his life sucked that bad. It could have been a lot better.
Here's another hot take that I like a lot, actually, that I think I might agree with. And now I wish Tori was here to read it, because she would have feelings about this. But all right, the Jedi are nowhere near as strict and controlling as people assume. People transpose their relationship with organized religion on them. If Anakin had actually opened up and been honest about what was going on, they would have helped him. I kind of agree with that. I think, yeah, the Jedi were strict, but I don't think they were nearly as strict as what everybody like views them as, or nearly as like fucked up that they as what everyone thinks.
What is it?
I think it's because people already are just like weary of any kind of organized religion.
It's kind of the story that we was told. You look at it like that. They were strict on following the rules. But we know throughout history that people have made mistakes and that they forgave them for that. We know that things happen and the Jedi are okay with it. You know, they understand that. You know, that, but at the same time, I think the fear of the repercussions, it's like kind of like the Jedi are your parent. You know, you do shit and you don't want your parents to know about it. But when you really get bad, who do you go to? You go to your parents. Right. And I think that's where Anakin failed because of the fear of punishment. He was going to get kicked out of, and I think a lot of that has to do with Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're going to get kicked out of the order. You know what I'm saying? And he's, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he was fearful of what would happen if they found out about what happened. Because he kind of goes, goes to Yoda and talks to Yoda. He just didn't tell Yoda, like, what was really going on. If he'd have told Yoda, come on, Yoda's 900 years. You don't think Yoda ain't ever, look, come on, we got baby.
Right.
We got baby Yoda, Grogu from somewhere. So
because, like,
and
even
there's only
when
two of them in all of Star Wars, so he had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, even when Anakin does talk to Yoda, some people think Yoda was being a dick. Yoda was literally trying to help him.
Yeah.
Like, Yoda had it figured out, and I don't think, like, I think the Jedi get a bad rap. Yeah, they weren't perfect. But I think, like, honestly, if he would have been open and honest, Anakin's the one who kind of fucked up. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
and if he would have been honest about what was going on, I feel like the Jedi would have helped him rather than, like, just kick him out immediately.
Well, we know for a fact that other Jedi were married. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that you can be taught how not to have attachment to your wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can be taught that. If he'd have just been open and honest with him, you know, I think that that's something that they would have been like, okay, well, then we got to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Yoda, especially Yoda. Yeah. Yoda is fucking old as shit. He's 800 years old in this fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's seen everything. He's been through everything. Like 800 years old, this dude is wise as fuck, man. So, you know, I think that he would have helped Anakin. I don't think he would have made Anakin get a divorce. We know throughout history, there's plenty of Jedis have been married. They had kids. They did all kind of different shit. So I think there would have been something that, you know what I'm saying, that they would have helped him with. Yeah. I think it was Anakin's fault for not being open and honest, especially with Obi-Wan. Like, dude, this is your master. This dude is like your dad. He's like your brother. And you wouldn't even be honest with him like, dude, Obi-Wan, I fucked up, but I don't know how to fix it. I love her. I can't leave her. Obi-Wan would be like, all right, let's go talk to Yoda. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We need to go talk to Yoda.
I mean, at the
I want to
very
talk
worst,
to Mace Windu.
Yeah.
You know?
At the very worst,
talk to Yoda.
He still would have been like a friend. Like he might have left the order, but he still would have been a friend and a good guy. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and I think a lot of that has to do with. I think a lot of it has to do with how much Anakin wanted to be a part of something. You know what I'm saying? Right. He wanted to be a Jedi, especially he looked up to Qui-Gon so much.
Right.
And then once he cut off Mace Windu's hand, he knew he was too far gone. Like, oh man, there ain't no coming back from this. Right. You know, it's like a dude that's a petty criminal. You know what I'm saying? He's out here and he's breaking into houses and shit. And you know what I'm saying? In the back of his mind, he's always thinking that he's gonna do better in life. And then he breaks into a house and he shoots somebody. He has to kill somebody because somebody was in the house. Now it's just done. You know what I'm saying? You know that you done went too far. It's over. Not that you're a bad person. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens.
So you fucked up beyond all recognition. Yeah.
You didn't want to kill that person. It's just the situation. But now you're Bubba's girl. Yeah, you're Bubba's girlfriend now because now you're in prison. It happens all the time. You know, people just get put in bad situations because they're in a bad situation and they have to do bad things to survive. You know what I'm saying? And then the real bad shit happens, and that's kind of what happened with Anakin. That's what I'm saying. Anakin's life is relatable to so many different scenarios in life. That's what makes Anakin's story so great because it's relatable. Like, people have done shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get into a fucking argument with your wife and you're fucking pissed off and you're fucking screaming and yelling at each other and then you fucking leave and you go get drunk and next thing you know, you wake up in some woman's bed. You didn't want that shit to happen. Right. You didn't plan that shit to happen. You didn't go out looking for that.
Which further proves how, like, the Jedi, in a way, the Jedi were right. Yoda, when he says fear is the path to the dark side, Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But also the Jedi are a cult,
You start
so-
down that path. Yeah, but it shows like how when you start down that path, you make one thing, it's not that bad. Then you do another thing that's worse, and you keep going until eventually you're trapped. And eventually you're forced to do something where there is no return.
And that's
I think
exactly
it
what
shows
happened
that.
to Anakin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what happened to Anakin. But I think if they didn't have that cult environment, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do this and you're not supposed to do that. It might have been like you know what I'm saying? If they'd have been more like, you know, hey, you know, we know you're going to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? We know things is going to happen. But you got to at least try not to let these things happen. And if something does happen, come talk to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Come holler at us, make things better. You know, because, I mean, like I said, that's what made the prequel so relatable, because all these situations, all these scenarios that was happening, not just with Anakin, with everybody, it's things that we go through in everyday life. It was relatable. You know what I'm saying? Because we deal with the same thing. Our government says you're free, but then you can't do this and 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 you can't do it. Like, that's not freedom. Freedom means I can do whatever I want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's basically the same scenario that was within the Jedi Order. You're the greatest beings in the world. We protect the Republic and everything, but you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. You know what I'm saying? And then it's worse because if you think about what the first thing a cult does is say you cannot communicate with your family. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing a cult does. You can't associate with anybody that don't believe what we believe. That's what makes things a cult.
But at the same time, a cult will do anything so that members do not leave.
Yeah.
The Jedi are very fine. Like, if you leave the Jedi Order, okay, it's not for you, that's fine. So at the same time, it's like because Dooku left and it was fine. A cult won't let its members leave. Dooku left and it was fine. Anakin could have left, but Anakin wanted both, and that's where you ran into the problems. You know what I mean? All right.
It's all bad.
I'm coming down to my last couple hot takes.
Okay.
Kanan is better.
I'm glad you're taking a long time because I didn't do no fucking thing this week. I was
You're
so
good.
busy. I didn't have time.
Kanan is
no impossible quiz. I didn't have time to do it this week.
You're good. Kanan is better than Obi-Wan.
Kanan is better than Obi-Wan.
I call BS.
I don't know. I like Kanan.
He's not better than Obi-Wan, though.
I don't know. I like Kanan. I didn't really like
Kanan
Obi-Wan.
better than Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan was never like one of my favorite characters or anything like that. Like everybody else was like, oh, Obi-Wan's a bitch. Should have killed Anakin right when he had a chance. He'd have fucking ruined all his fucking weak ass heart. His fucking acting like a bitch. Oh, fucking Anakin, I loved you.
But
Is
in
what
no
fucking
world
caused the
is-
entire fucking universe to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I was never a big fan of Obi-Wan. Like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I like Obi-Wan, don't get me wrong, but I was never a big fan. Kanan, I was a fan of. Like, Kanan, because I related to Kanan more. Like, because Kanan, he never finished his Jedi training. Oh, shit, you know what I just realized?
What?
Basically, they're fucking basing Ahsoka off of they based Kanan off of Ahsoka. And then they turn around and they're basing Ahsoka off of Kanan.
Wow, crazy.
Like, Jesus Christ. But, like, because Kanan never got to finish his Jedi training.
Jedi training.
So he's trying to train Ezra, and he doesn't really know how to do it. He's just going off of the little bit of shit that he knows.
He's learning as he goes.
And he's learning as he goes, and that's a lot of life. A lot of life is we just learn as we go. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people out there that say, oh, it's like people that say, you know what I'm saying? They write these books on how to raise your kids, but they don't have no kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you tell me how to take care of some kids? You ain't even got no kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you just learn as you go. And each individual is different. Each situation is different. The way I handle a situation and where another person handles a situation is different. So and I related to Kanan on that. I learned a lot from Kanan. Even though it was a cartoon, I learned a lot and I thought things differently. And I really didn't learn shit from Obi-Wan. Like, I just looked at Obi-Wan like he was just Anakin's master. You know, like to me, Obi-Wan didn't ever do anything that was really that special. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just, there was nothing there that I could relate to when it came to Obi-Wan. I related to Kanan. Now, as like a person that's really into like changing the galaxy and doing stuff, I give Obi-Wan way more props on that, because this dude hid for 18 years and like didn't have barely any actions with people. He was a hermit, because that takes a lot of dedication. That's really being the truth of a Jedi. That's dedication. Learning about the Force for 18 years so he can help train Luke. You know, not, you know, dealing with all the guilt about what happened with Anakin. That takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of strength. So I don't know. I like both of them, but I don't know. I don't think I could pick somebody, you know, that's better than the other person. They both played an important role within the universe, you know. But I think that if it was like, dude, you have to choose one or die, I don't know. I might choose Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan made the biggest difference. If he wouldn't have got Luke out of there and started Luke's training, then the Empire would have never failed. Which, you know, Kanan training fucking Ezra and, you know, being there for fucking, you know, Sabine and for Hera and all that, and they fought against the Empire for a long time, and you know, Hera ended up becoming like a freaking general or some shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they both played significant roles within the universe. So I don't know. I wouldn't say either one of them is better. They played their own roles. They're both dope.
And then my last one, all right? And this one I agree with, so let me explain it. Jar Jar Binks is more likable than Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren had awesome potential. He could have been a great villain. The design and, like, the look, he looks badass, but he fell flat and he ended up being really annoying. So Jar Jar Binks is more likable than Kylo Ren.
Likable? Yeah. A better character? No. Jar Jar Binks was annoying, but like it was funny annoying. He was like, you couldn't help but I think that's what annoyed a lot of people, because they fucking hated Jar Jar Binks because he was so fucking likable. Like, God, this fucking dude is annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like, really likable people are annoying as shit.
Sometimes.
Most of the time. Like, dude, this fucking person is like fucking just, goddamn, man, they fucking got the right shit to say. They say dumb shit, make you laugh or no fucker. Like, fuck, you're like really fucking likable. I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? No,
because they're both, Jar Jar Binks is not super likable.
But, yeah,
but more than Kylo
likable.
Ren.
But Kylo Ren is loved. But Kylo Ren is a fucking, like, you know how many people love Kylo Ren?
I hate Kylo Ren, dude.
Fucking cancer. Me neither. But a lot of people love him. So I'm like, but there's a lot of people that like Jar Jar. But I'd have to give it now. If we're going after actors, I'm not even going to go there, because we all know how I feel about that. Like, dude.
Well, like, the guy who played Kylo Ren, he is a good actor. I just don't think Kylo Ren was a well-written character.
Like,
Adam Driver's a good actor. You got to give it to him. Like,
yeah, he's a good actor.
His other roles, he knows what he's doing.
And he played Kylo Ren good. You got to remember, he played the
character. That was how Kylo
Ren
was written. Exactly.
And he didn't play Kylo Ren bad, but I don't know.
He was
Kylo
a poorly written character.
I just hate Kylo Ren so much. Like, Kylo Ren just fucking, because, and it's like you said, because he has so much potential. Like, I really wanted this dude to, like, go full fucking just dark side, fucking, and like, way better than Vader.
So much potential.
Like, the best fucking bad guy ever, and, like, he's like a fucking
He had so
bitch.
much potential. He had so much potential.
Like, he just annoyed the shit out of me. And then I don't like him because women be saying, "Oh, he's so fucking fine. That's one of the ugliest men on the goddamn planet."
He is not that attractive.
That dude is fucked up looking with his fucked up looking ass self, and then women were like, "Oh, he's so gorgeous." You don't like him because
he's not fucked up. He's just like normal. Like, he doesn't
even look normal. He looks like somebody hit him in the face with a skill and fucked his nose up and shit.
We're so used
Dude
to
is
seeing all these
terrible
really
looking.
good-looking celebrities, and he's totally average looking.
Like, that shit was fucking terrible.
I don't get it.
Like, and I think that's one of the reasons that I hate Kylo Ren, because women be like, "Oh, he's so fucking gorgeous." Like, dude, this dude is ugly as fuck. Like, just irritated me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Jar Jar. Even though I don't like Ahmad Best neither. Because fuck, I wish I was in Star Wars, you old crying
I wish I was in
bitch.
Star Wars. All right, that's all. That's the last hot take I had. If you're in the comments, feel free to shoot us your hot takes, even if it's
Let's see, I
after
would
this
put New
episode.
Hope. Wait, Nielsen says I will put New Hope above Attack of the Clones. I just didn't like the love story part, part 2, but the rest
That's
was
fair.
great. That love story part was freaking just. It was hard to watch.
Exactly, Darth
Somebody
Akari.
put some big ass thing advertising.
It's Adam
on
Driver's
here.
wallet that makes him attractive. He said so himself. He got no play before he became an actor. Then they all
Yeah.
loved him. 100%.
I mean, he knows it. Shit. Fuck, it's
He's
like
good
me sitting
looking
back
for,
saying that I'm
like,
about to just walk in
yeah.
any bar and pull the most attractive women on the planet. No, I'm not.
Because he's
I'm ugly.
rich and famous.
If I was rich and famous, yeah, I could probably do the same
Yeah.
thing. Dr. Carr says, you got to think that they're largely influenced by monks, and monks don't force their beliefs on others. If a monk comes forward and says that it isn't for me, they say, okay, see ya. Yeah, that's true. But still a cult. Monks are cults too. Shit. Anybody that fucking cult. If you're fucking saying you got to believe what I believe, or get the fuck out, or you got to leave, or you're
Right.
fucking cult. It was like his wallet that makes him attractive. He said it to him. Okay, well, we read. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's frustrating. It really is. It's frustrating because,
Gold diggers.
well, it's not just gold diggers. It's just that, like neither one of the characters lived up to their potential. I think if you really look at the characters as the character itself, Jar Jar Binks played Jar Jar Binks, who Jar Jar Binks was supposed to be. Like, the potential for Kylo Ren was just so fucking, like, I was so excited the first time I seen Kylo Ren. I mean, I was like, dude, this dude's gonna be dope. Watch. Then I found out that it was fucking Luke's, Leia's son, and I was like, oh man, this they could go so many ways, and they just, it's like the Finn thing. They just dropped the ball on that shit. Like, the fuck
Seriously.
are you? What happened to the two main characters? I thought Finn and Kylo Ren was like the main characters. Who's this Rey chick? You know what I'm saying? Like, just. That was 2 points that they really dropped the ball on. They ruined that. News. We talked about some of the news. Most of the news is just about the new release date for Ahsoka and everything Ahsoka. Like, I was looking through the news earlier. Everything's about Ahsoka. It's like there's like 5 pages of Ahsoka.
Lots of Ahsoka stuff.
Yeah, it's all about Ahsoka. That's the biggest thing that's happening. That's the big news. There wasn't a whole lot out there for news wise.
No, yeah. Besides the, like, obviously the stuff that I read about Ahsoka, like the reviews, and then the fact that it's on a different day being released. That's pretty much all I had for news.
Let me see. I thought I had one other thing somewhere here.
Do you want me to hit the news button or?
Fuck it. Yeah, Ahsoka. More news.
kind of it.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Tony Gilroy described the collaboration effort required to create the critically acclaimed season 2. So he's saying it's going to be fucking super dope. Which I don't know. I'm kind of worried about it because you're covering 4 years and 3 episodes like that, or 4 episodes. That's I don't know. I think they're going to rush it. I think the first season of Andor is probably going to be like the best season. The second season is going to be kind of weird just because the way they're doing it.
I don't know. We'll see. Like, the first season was so good, but that second season, like, what you're aiming for, that's a pretty tough thing to do.
Giant freaking robot reported that the Bad Batch shuts down, or the Star Wars studio shuts down. Season 3 is canceled of the Bad Batch, which I don't like. I know that giant freaking robot be getting a lot of information, but I just don't see that. They're not going to leave it open with Tech dying. They're not just going to leave it right there. The situation, they left it on a fucking cliffhanger. They can't just cancel it after leaving it on a cliffhanger.
That's so weird.
Like, I don't believe.
I mean,
that
it wasn't a very good season, but come on, Disney will pump out at least one more.
Like, it wasn't a bad season. It just wasn't the best season. It wasn't as good as one.
It was bad.
But it wasn't a bad season. It was not bad. Shit, you graded it like a 6. That's not bad.
What? No,
yeah, you rated
I
it
will
a 6.
pull it up. No. Let's see. I'm actually curious what I rated it now.
And most of everything is about Ahsoka. Even the toy stuff is about, Black Series Ahsoka stuff. Being released after the first episode. Yeah, so there's not
I
much.
rated it a 5.5, Kyle.
That's a 6, damn it. That's terrible as anything below a 5.
Bro, it's the worst thing we've ever reviewed.
No, you're crazy.
It was barely it was barely below Mando season 3. Which also was bad.
Anything bad is 5 and under. Anything above a 5 is still watchable. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Right. I watched it again. I watched the whole Bad Batch season 2 again. It wasn't that bad. I kind of liked it after I watched it again. Only thing I don't like is they have too many filler episodes in it. Yeah. The story episodes are great.
True.
They're good story episodes. But they're not going to leave it with Tech being dead and them all being captured. And we just found out that the chick was Omega's sister. They're not going to leave it right there. And I know Giant Freaking Robot freaking, you know what I'm saying, they're pretty good about getting some shit in the damn, you know what I'm saying, some underground, rumor shit, you know what I'm saying, that actually be happening, some truth shit. But I don't think that that's one of them. Like, I really don't. Like, I think they'll at least come out with a season 3. They might not come out with a season 4, but we'll at least get a season 3. And other than that, there isn't really well, here, let's do this. Screen Rant put the best, the top 10 character arcs in Star Wars. This is their pick for the top 10 characters. Number 10, Ben Solo. No, that shouldn't even be on the list. 9, Din Djarin. That should be lower. Din Djarin's character arc is pretty excellent.
You mean higher, you mean?
Yeah, higher. It should
higher
be
in the ranking? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Luke
Lower
Skywalker's
number.
character arc should be not even on the list because his character arc fucking, like, they tanked it in the fucking sequel trilogy.
Oh my God, makes me so mad.
Jen Erso is number 7. Yeah, she could fit in there about a 7. Her fucking character, I don't know. Her character arc wasn't really that great.
Did she even have a character arc?
Like, she was just a kid that got fucking, dad fucking designed the Death Star and then she had to fucking watch him die and then she fucking got the plans and died. That's not a very good character arc.
No, I guess she believed in the cause, which she didn't before. So
Han Solo is number 6. Han Solo had one of the best character arcs in the thing. Him going from a fucking smuggler dirtbag into a fucking general and fucking son and husband and fucking good guy. That's a great character arc. That shows you that you can go from being nothing to something.
Right.
The fuck are they talking about? 6? It should be lower than that. I mean, it should be fucking higher up on that. Leia is number 5.
What?
Yeah.
Leia had a character arc? What was Leia's character arc?
She went from being fucking a kid to
Leia was perfect. Leia had no character
general
arc.
of the fucking and the best person in the fucking Republic. I don't know. She became a Jedi, had an emo son, husband left her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that one.
That's not the
Darth Maul. Darth Maul had an excellent character arc.
Fair.
His whole character
as
arc.
Much as I hate that he didn't stay dead, he had a great character
arc. Obi-Wan Kenobi is number 3. I mean, he had a good character arc. Him coming from a boy. I just don't think there was a lot of depth to his character arc. There wasn't he did what he was supposed to do. He became just fucking perfect Jedi. And
he was a well-written character. It was just.
And then he went into the Force at the end. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'd have put him as number 3.
Yeah, probably not.
Ahsoka Tano, yes, Ahsoka Tano number 2 because her character arc is fucking crazy.
Fair. Yep.
And then number 1, Anakin Skywalker.
There you go. If he's anything but number 1, you're fucked up.
It was
Yeah.
the best character arc. It was fucking the whole
Exactly.
point of Star Wars was Anakin
Was his
Skywalker.
character arc, yes.
From 1 through 6 is all about Anakin Skywalker. Shit. 7, 8, 9 is about Anakin Skywalker. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? The whole time fucking Kylo Ren Ben Solo trying to live up to his fucking granddaddy's fucking his potential. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, he fucking Anakin, the whole fucking thing is based about Anakin. It's fucking about Anakin. So yeah, I agree with that. But I think that's about it for the show. I don't think we got too much to talk about.
I love talking about hot takes, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's just fun. Tomorrow we are doing. It's tomorrow, right? We're doing Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back. One of the
good one.
Good one. Really good one. Fun to watch.
Yeah.
So we're doing that tomorrow. It'll be the same time as we release all episodes. It'll just be on Sunday. We'll probably do like the 15, 30-minute pregame show that will start 30 minutes before. So definitely look out for that. We hope to see you guys all there. It's a lot of fun when we get to watch the movies with you guys. So we love doing that. And other than that, I think that's about it for today. We will see you guys. Thanks everybody for all the comments. Thanks for everybody commenting last week. Sorry that we couldn't do it live, but you know, we just had shit going on. We couldn't do it. So, but we try to do them live as much as possible, but you're always going to have content. We guarantee you that. You're always going to have content on Saturdays. And hopefully Wednesdays. It just might be later next week because Garrison school sucks. No, I
It
joke.
does. It does. School's a bitch.
But we will see you guys. We will see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Stay outrageous. And may the force be with you always.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. LightSaber Radio is produced by Pickfilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.